Crank that sound up because we're about to have a show. My name is Jay Cleveland Payne, and regrets. I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. And I did what I had to do and saw it through without exception. This is things you might not have heard for Thursday, February the 10th, 2022. And while yesterday was a very weird experience where I had to say the word fellatio in front of my 9-year-old, because the story was just too good. Today, we're going to go through to infinity and beyond. We're going to go where no show like this has gone before, at least my show. And since we proved that we can actually do this in under 5 minutes, we're going to do our best to have a little less chatter, a little less noise, and try to knock this thing out in about 10 minutes or so with the graphics. We'll see if you can do that, and because the part of the as I ramble for time, part of the challenge I got from my friend on doing this thing was, yeah, it's great, but can you bring it down to a little less time? So less stories, of course, less ads. You like that as well, and of course, more newsy stuff in the news with less chitter chatter, or work on some other way to do more commentary and other things going forward. Now, what this is going to happen. Also, less explanation. We're going to give you 5 stories plus a teaser to a story that we're going to present in a little bit that you said were pretty conversational. They may not have been the top headlines, but they were pretty good stories that you said were interesting enough that more people should know about. As we say, we're not your number one source of news, not your P1 as they say in the industry. We are your side piece of news. And you can take that any way you want to. Make sure you are keeping up what's going on by going to our website, thisisaconversationproject.com. And of course, help us out here on this project and other projects similar. I have a larger media empire, if you want to call it that. That's called More Better Media. And support the show with buymeacoffee.com/JClevelandPayne. We're finding it all the time as you come in and chatter up. And so today we're drinking a nice cup of black tea. Nice and warm, keeps the throat all hydrated and all warm and tingly. And so let's get into some news stories. So that if you go out and about and meet people, these are some things you can talk about that they might not have heard because now you've heard of them. Story number 1, Melissa Henderson outrage over Mr. Henderson, outrage over single working mom of 5 faces jail for asking daughter 14 to babysit. Meow.com gave us this story. At least that's our source for it. But this is one that I've seen in various places, including a nice play on Inside Edition that came through yesterday. This is a story that's a bit layered. So very quickly, there's a lady who had to go back to work, and she has 5 children. One of her children, the 14-year-old, you should be old enough to handle with the younger siblings, was asked to babysit the 4-year-old because she was doing at-home learning. She's at home already. She's responsible. She can keep an eye on the 4-year-old. What happened was 4-year-olds, being as they are, got out of hand, as in literally out of hand, out in reach, and left the house and went to a neighbor's house to go play with a friend. Okay. What happened next? The neighbor's parents called the police because the 4-year-old was wandering the streets and they couldn't find her mother because the mother was at work and the 14-year-old was watching the kid at home. Now, Melissa Henderson is facing some jail time because of the situation. Do you believe it's good? Do you believe it's not good? You can comment with us on this one. Just reach out to me at Jay Cleveland Payne and we can chat this one up in the internets. Story number 2, cats taken away from soccer star Kurt Zouma after kicking video. New York Post gives us this one. Kurt Zouma, who you may not have heard of, he plays for the West Hampshire United, I believe. I don't have the story pulled up at the moment in the front screen, but he plays soccer or football over across the pond in Europe. Video going out about him kicking and punching his cats, and because of that, cat services, animal services, child services came and took the cats away from the very, very mean soccer player. This story was one that might have gotten completely missed, but I'm putting out there completely for the love of my good friend Marla Lemmerman, who I call the gray-haired cat lady. We have many, many fights over how I believe cats are evil demons trying to kill us all. And she says, no, they're not. And I just says, wait till your cat kills you and then you'll find out. This is a story especially for her or for you cat lovers, so you can put out your cat hate on Kurt Zouma and not me, who also hates cats. Next story is this one. Bob Saget dies from brain bleed after hitting his head. Now, this story we pulled from TMZ. Everyone is talking about it this morning. It's a bit of a, not a head scratcher, but it's a bit of a warning to folks how something like this can happen. It brought up stories of past people who have hit in their head in various accidents that seem minor and then died days later. It actually brought up thoughts of, Sonny Bono, who of course, crashed on the ski slopes and died a few days later. Head injuries are very serious. Bob Saget apparently bumped his head somewhere in his apartment. Didn't think much of it and went to bed. When they found him, he was packed. He was ready to go. He was prepared to go to his next stop. He was doing a top comedy tour. But somewhere in the middle of the night, a brain bleed is what actually killed him. So if you are dealing with something like that, if you're someone like me who tends to run into things a lot, don't blow it off so quickly. Take it seriously. If it rings, if it stings, if it hurts a bit, go check it out, because these things do happen, as we are seeing. Story number next happens to be this one right here. It is Snoop Dogg acquires death row records. Fry.com is our source for this one. And don't just think Snoop Dogg just went out there and pulled out a big old fat wad out of his pocket and started peeling off $100 bills. It's a little bit more complicated than that. Snoop Dogg is now acquired, or basically in charge of, running Death Row Records, one of the record labels he was famous for being on. Bounced around a couple times, but this is the one that basically brought him to life with Dr. Dre way back in the day. A new consortium of folks, a group of people with lots of money, threw a bunch of money together. They pulled out their wads and they pulled back their $100 bills, and Snoop chipped in a couple bits, and now he is essentially controlling it. The financial controllers, they kind of go deeper into the story and kind of get a deal on the group that bought it. But Snoop Dogg in that group, so let's just say a Snoopy Dogg is in charge of Death Row. And finally, wrapping up this one, we have Ron DeSantis backing Florida's Don't Say Gay bill, while Biden says he thinks it's hateful, denouncing it. This is from USA Today, where the source is, and you need to really go look this one up and go back and forth. This is something that's been in the news for, I've been kind of tracking it for about 2 weeks, I believe. But of course, these bills take forever to kind of turn into things. And if you're in Florida, you've been seeing this for a while. There are a bunch of bills, a few bills, if you will, that are being called Don't Say Gay bills, or variants of the matches. And what they essentially are doing is putting limits on speech in schools and in places where you can not just say the word gay, but essentially bring up things like sexual orientation and things like that. It's very, very complicated. It's more complicated than just simple people who identify as something else can't use the bathrooms. This is actually a big deal. So you need to actually go look deeper into the bills and what they're doing. Many people who are gay and transgender say these things are essentially putting people back into the closet, making them feel like they aren't not safe to identify as they want to identify. And it's going to cause a lot of harm mentally, and maybe to the point where suicides among that community may go back up for people who can't deal with it. That's why Biden's saying it's hateful, because it's basically telling people to stay closeted. We don't care, as opposed to DeSantis was like, we don't care what you are, don't talk about it. It's not quite as simple as the headline reads, so you need to go deeper into this one. This is a cause that you feel strongly about. Either side, you need to go look deeper into what's going on down in Florida. Today, we want to let you know this bit video and all we're doing is sponsored by Blinkist. This is a conversation project .com/Blinkist is your source for a 7-day trial of the full app of Blinkist. What will Blinkist do? Blinkist will very quickly, very succinctly, very greatly improve your knowledge base by giving you access to all those books that you say you want to read, and giving you no excuse not to read them. Because number one, it takes all of the 300-page volume of that nonfiction book or that technical book or the autobiography, and it turns it into blinks that are the essence of the stories, essence of the text, and you can read them in 15 minutes. Even better, you can listen to them be read to you in 15 minutes because they have an audio version and the written Blink version there. They also have shortcasts, which are great versions of your podcast that you don't have time to listen to because they shrink them down as well. And you can actually get curated books and curated a list from all those people you admire, all those influencers, if you will. Brene Brown can tell you which books to read next because she has a list of the books she picked as ones that will make you feel much more better about yourself. Check it out at thisisaconversationproject.com/Blinkist, and you will see just how great this thing is. 7-day free trial of the app, and you'll fall madly in love with it. Okay, a quick tease. I guess 10 minutes is not going to work so well. A quick tease of a story that is on the way. This one may or may not be that big a deal to you, but we're going to go. It's going to be posted in a few hours anyway. Mike Golic is leaving ESPN after father's exit. This is a story that's been out there for a couple days. I'm not sure. In fact, this posting was posted 2 days ago. We're just now putting it out there for you to chat about it. I'm not sure whether So I'm not sure whether it's going to be a bellwether, but it was something that's going to pop up. Look out for this. Mike Golic Sr. left ESPN about a year ago, 2 years ago or so, after a shakeup in things that had his partner in crime for a long time in mornings get a TV show, and he be regulated to football coverage of Louisiana Tech while we're doing pandemic. Then he left. Mike Golic Jr. got a big promotion to do some things, taking over the radio, basically. Now he's apparently on his way out as well. Check that out, that story, if you want to. When it pops up, like it, love it, hate it, share it, engage with it. The more engagement it gets, the better score it gets coming up. What does all that mean? Well, let's do a quick rundown of the ways you can hang out with us, and we'll explain that a little bit deeper. This is theconversationproject.com. This is theconversationproject.com. This is theconversationproject.com is the home for things you might not have heard and other projects we have that get more conversational in the news stories of the day. Buymeacoffee.com/JClevelandPayne is where you can give us a donation in the form of basically the cost of a cup of coffee, tea, milk, ribs, mac and cheese, however you want to call it. A food donation or a cash donation for food actually turns into a cash donation for resources and services. And the follow the feed stuff, it's all about this. Follow us on Facebook at thisisaconversationproject.com or This is a Conversation Project, and Twitter, th_conversation, and you will find that we put into our feeds there every 50 minutes a news story, a new news story, at least new to us, to talk about. Sometimes they're updates, and we just want you to react to the stories as you check your feed. If you go into Twitter and you see that we pop something in there, look at what's there, read the story, like it, love it, hate it, share it with other folks. The more engagement that a story gets, the higher score it gets. At the end of the day, or checking the beginning of the next day, we pulled the stats from about 28, 30 hours prior, and we put them in a spreadsheet that weigh out the Facebook and the Twitter, so there's an even score. Then we take the top 15 stories of the score, about 33 stories in a regular day, and then we pick 5 stories that are, we believe, the greatest to talk about. And we're now trying to see if we can do this in under 10 minutes without less commentary, because we can do it yesterday. Apparently not going to be the case, so we're going to keep it to about 15. That's going to be a new target, 15. Less ads, though. I think you like that. Oh, by the way, we may have to get rid of the teaser song to try and take it out. The teaser song is My Way, which many people want it to be the signature song of Frank Sinatra, which it is, but it was written by Paul Anka. And it's written from a obscure French song, I hear, but that's where it came from. Paul Anka is the actual provider of the song My Way. So then this was brought up because as weird as the production was for yesterday, all sorts of things get in the way. We got it done. That is what basically inspired that one. If you want to inspire a teaser song, you just let us know a song and we'll go to it, and we'll give you the credit for that. Things you might not have heard for Thursday, February the 10th, 2022. J. Cleveland Payne. You can find me on the Twitters and the Facebooks at J. Cleveland Payne, and pretty much any place else. Email me at jclevelandpayne@gmail.com if you want to chat it up that way. Love to hear your thoughts on today. Love to hear your thoughts on yesterday. Love to get more of these out here. So we're going to go back to the drawing board. We're going to get some more things posted. We're going to get on, have our day at work. And hopefully you'll have a couple extra things to chat about with folks in whatever you're calling a water cooler these days. In the meantime, we got work to do. We'll see you tomorrow morning.